All right. Welcome everybody to session 74 of Descent into Fernia. Who would like to give the recap?
We were fighting. We done drove, we being the royal we, meaning the branded one, drove the the demon grinder into a ditch where it was basically nose down, and we couldn't simply reverse to get out of the hole. So we were unsure how to get out of the hole, but we were then fighting these rust monsters. And due to some critical failure, I don't remember exactly what was rolled anymore, but there was a critical failure which caused something akin to a boiler inside the demon grinder to explode, blowing steam through the demon grinder and heating it up. So this was like right at the start of the combat. So the branded one initially tried to like assess the situation to figure out if he could like fix it or stop the steam quickly so that it wouldn't heat up everything as much as possible. We wouldn't have to deal with it after the fight. But it turned out it was going to take several minutes. So the fight would be over at that point. And not having any fire resistance, the branded one probably would have burned to death in the meantime trying to fix it. So instead, we dealt with the rust monsters, eventually chasing them off. They did hit the demon grinder a few times, so a few spots of rust, but we basically drove the last of them off after killing a couple of them. We then looked at how to fix the demon grinder, at least, the initial problem being the steam filling the cabin. And it was hot enough that even fire resistance was not really going to protect you from this steam. So we didn't know what was broken, and we didn't know how to fix it without suffering like a lot of damage. And even if we fixed it, we had no way of getting the 15,000 pounds out of that hole. So we decided, well, looks like we're walking. So we started to
Oh,
walk, and then we heard an explosion behind us as the demon grinder blew up. We're in the middle of these woods with the
Well,
metal
and
trees
and the
still. It's
koala thing came out of the demon
it,
Oh
grinder
yeah.
too. Yeah.
right.
it
Walla Walla
last.
came out of the demon grinder and found his people. And it turns out there is a whole race of evil koala monsters living in these woods. Uh, the woods eventually got pitch black, so we're having difficulty seeing. So we have a light spell up to see, but it's very limited. And we were being targeted by these creatures that are way outside the level, the distance that the light can illuminate. So we're being periodically shot at. I don't remember exactly what sort of damage they were doing. We're being periodically shot at from the darkness, suffering damage as we walk. Trebek and the branded one are getting comfortable with the fact that they're going to die of heat exhaustion well before we can get anywhere because the DCs just go up one an hour. And so will, in theory, eventually become impossible for us to succeed on. And it only takes 6 levels of exhaustion. Trebek did also have a critical fail at one point and suffered a level of exhaustion. So there's also food and water. We have like no food or water, so we're going to die from that too. Right now, we have food and water only insofar as the branded one can create it, but only the branded one thought to bring enough water skins so that he could survive.
Yeah.
Everyone else is like, I'm going to bring 1/4 of the number of water skins I need to live. And so we have like, even if you count like filling up helmets and shields, we figured we had like 16 or 20 water skins worth, and we need 24 for everyone to live. So someone is eventually going to die of dehydration.
Yeah, yeah. Vegnar would be the first to give up his share.
Right. Vegnog gave up his one water skin. I am not counting Vegnog in the number we need. He'll survive
I know.
as he watches the rest of us die. Yeah,
Nobody,
but
nobody has good berry.
once the branded one is dead, I don't know where you're going to get food or water at all because I'm your source of food and water.
Yeah, you guys had tons of rations on the demon grinder, but they all blew up.
Right.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's looking pretty bleak. We're still in the midst of the darkness being shot at though. So the immediate problem is something is shooting at us.
Mm-hmm.
Like every couple minutes we get shot.
Yeah, they've got like little darts, that little poison needles that have stuck into us. Some of us anyway. I think Melodia, some shadow ropes tried grabbing her.
Yeah, essentially, and I think I dodged out of the way. I don't remember exactly what I did, but they tried like grabbing me, I think, by the neck and pulling me up a tree essentially. And I got out of that or saw it coming and I stopped that. But yeah, I think the darts cause paralysis or damage and paralysis, so not great.
Yeah.
So it's real full survival mode here in Fernia this time.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I've been so excited for the day when you no longer have the demon grinder and have to experience all of the hardships that Fernia actually offers. So so yeah, so that is the situation right now.
Wait, what do you mean? We put a lot of time and money into that demon grinder. God damn it!
Yeah. I fully recognize that, but still. So
And we all pictured Takash getting like a nice steam bath inside the demon grinder, presumably protected by his armor, and then like walking out after the rust monster fight.
Well, I'm not like immune or resistant to fire. I just have AC. It keeps me cool here. That's it. Fire damage still hurt.
So since previous session, an hour has passed. And in that hour, there have been, you've heard these little pings. And you get the sense that it's more of these things being shot at you. But some of you get the impression that this is now psychological torture because they're maybe purposely missing just to kind of keep you reminded that they're out there and they can hit you whenever they want. And so the branded one and Trebek each make me a new saving throw.
Oh, and I did forget Trebek. Trebek took off his adamantine armor and threw it away, so that's gone now because he couldn't possibly walk. He can't walk wearing heavy armor in this heat.
Yep.
So he
I'll
got rid
drag
of his
it. What do
armor.
you mean? I'll drag it for you. Bundle it up.
How much is a full plate mail weigh?
65 pounds.
Yeah, 65 pounds.
Yeah, so I imagine that is even heavier when it's, well, he wasn't wearing the adamantine though. He was wearing the armor from that Dragonborn guy, Archon the Cruel.
Okay. I thought he was still wearing the adamantine, but so the adamantine was probably then in the demon grinder. We did not save anything from the demon grinder, so it's gone anyway.
Well, the adamantine ain't going to be destroyed. This is going to be there to be found at a later time.
Yeah, the adamantine armor is probably fine. In fact, it might have cleaned the armor.
Yeah, exactly.
I forgot also when figuring out the food and water thing, I am also counting in the fact that that the branded one is now wearing Trebek's Ring of Bounty. So the branded one doesn't need to eat or drink at all. So we have two characters that don't need to eat or drink, and we're still dying of thirst because the branded one had 10 water skins, which is more than he needed. And it turned out everyone else was just like, we'll be fine.
Well, if we can catch any of these, if we can catch any of these creatures, we might. be able
The
to
first
pick-
one is the right one, but the second one, I guess, also succeeded if it's DC 9. And then then the branded ones.
Don't forget +4 from me.
Uh, oh, so Trebek doesn't need to make the next one. He'll start making them after this one. So it is DC 8, so now it is increasing to DC 9.
So roll again.
No, yours is fine. Oh wait, those are
No,
both for Trebek.
Right, I hit the button twice by mistake.
Okay, Brandon one. Yeah, so you're fine. 'Cause I see that you rolled as well for the branded one. So now you guys have gone a total of 4 hours in the heat. So you are still in darkness, still traversing the forest of metal, and hearing these occasional pings of needles being shot against the trees in your vicinity.
Well, it's a step up that at least they're not shooting directly at us. I guess they just want us out of their forest.
Hike up them knees. It's time to move.
So we continue on. I walk with them.
So Vegnog or not Vegnog, Blade was under, he had the skirmisher's cloak and he was invisible. Did that wear off over the course of the hour, or because if I remember correctly, there wasn't like an end point on that. So
Can you
Is
post
he-
the skirmisher's cloak in there?
I had in my notes that it was like I got a crit success on my stealth check, so I had effectively greater invisibility.
Um,
Spell only lasts a minute, so
yeah. I mean, I would say that the greater invisibility effect would have ended by now, but I mean, you could essentially try to make the hide action at any point. Um, so you can continue keeping that up.
Yeah, he would, and he Blade is going to kind of stick to the edge of darkness, and try to see if he can see where these things are coming from. Beyond just the trees, but like he wants to try to catch one, or at least like start tracking them.
I mean, my light is limited to it's like 20-foot bright, 20-foot dim.
Yeah.
So it's not much.
Yeah, he'd be hanging out somewhere like near the edge of, somewhere in the dim.
You can give me a perception check, but it's at disadvantage. Yeah, so you don't see or hear anything as you look into try to peer into the darkness.
Okay.
Um,
Well, he will just continue to kind of stalk the edge. Then
Okay.
kind of following with the group. Blade would let at least somebody know. You know, give a heads up just so you don't think that like Blade was taken and go on a long side quest to go save Blade.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
that would be important because you just kind of went behind the tree and suddenly you weren't there anymore. And given what happened to Melodia, fair assessment to that it may have happened to you.
Yeah, I mean, it may still happen. What happened to Melodia? So when they see you wandering, be like, sure, glad Blade's not in any actual trouble. Let's just keep going. I'm sure he'll turn up.
Yeah, and I'll keep an eye on Blade too, since I have dark vision. So I'll try to keep eyes on him along with scanning. I know it's sort of multitasking and stuff, but
So
So, all right, up. Let's get a move on.
so Dustin or Blade, uh you feel a chink as one of these needles strikes you right between the gaps in one of your joints. So you take 1 damage and give me a Constitution saving throw. I believe you get it at advantage against poison, correct?
Yes.
Are all of these things that are shooting at us the like rust monsters, or
No. Rust at least we didn't see the rust monsters with
yeah, the
poison
most
blow darts.
the most I've caught is a shadow out of the corner of my eye. So we've not actually got eyes on them yet.
understood?
Okay,
And
roll
Mike
to
was right.
confirm.
Trebek was wearing the like +2 obsidian plate. So if you're dragging his armor for him, that's what you're dragging.
Sure. Easy to do.
So Blade, you can go ahead and roll to confirm.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Maybe
You get +4 from me. If,
No,
if you
Wait,
could
he's-
stick within 10 feet.
That's
He's
not
in the
how-
darkness, so unless you're in the
Oh,
darkness,
you went way out there. Jesus.
Yeah, he's probably like 30 feet out. You know.
Oh, well, you're fucked.
So
I don't remember what the DC was anyway. I don't know if it was 11.
oh, you have advantage though. So then that would be a critical
Oh,
success.
that's right.
So so with your critical success, actually, what happens is that because of the way that your body processes toxins, and because you being a warforged, you have some internal sense of what's going on inside you that's a bit more sophisticated than the creatures of flesh that surround you, um, where you can get more data out of your system rather than just if something hurts or burns or cold. Um, with this, you actually are able to assess the poison that's flowing through your veins, and you now understand that the poison not only is a paralytic, but it also for each moment that the paralysis remains or is in it like in effect, that it has severe neurotoxic effects, which cause significant damage that is ongoing and worsening the longer a person has succumbed to the paralytic.
Paralytic and a neurotoxin.
What's that?
It's a paralytic and a neurotoxin. That's fun. I was hoping that he'd get hit and then like his body would immediately start processing an antidote as like a defense mechanism.
But he doesn't have like a way to like put it into a container, so he has to like spit it into your mouth. Or it has to come out of somewhere into somebody's mouth.
Yeah.
As Josh would say, hashtag Pornhub.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he takes that information, and Blade hasn't had any luck getting any more clues on the whereabouts of our would-be harassers.
No. The poison that, even though you've been able to analyze some of its effects, you don't have enough information to know what the poison is specifically. You know for sure that Wade has never encountered any similar thing, nor is it like any kind of signature move or weapon by anything that you know of. But of course, you're in Fernia and your experience is limited to Corvair.
Yeah. Okay. So he's just gonna, I think Blade is going to he's gonna continue to stalk the edges, doesn't want to scare the group quite yet.
I also believe it was eerily silent. So I assume that is continuing.
Except for the occasional pings of needles off of the trees, which are still metal, by the way.
And I assume we've not heard, other than the pings, we've not really heard these creatures moving around.
Nothing. It's dead quiet.
I don't know. I just want to test something. I'm going to say, hey, everybody stop moving. Make no sounds. Let's see if we can still hear pinging.
Seems like a bad idea. We might encourage them to shoot us more.
So with that, Takash, you feel a prick, goes right in your cheek. The needle did, and immediately you begin to feel the strange sensation of the poison. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Or nope. Nuh-uh. Yeah. Go ahead and mark off one of them inspirations or action points. I mean, fucking think so. Jesus Christ.
But it's not a crit fail. You could have a heart attack and die in Mike's game.
That's true.
On the plus side, dibs on the armor.
Can you use plate mail?
Oh my, I Can't cast spells while I'm in it, but can I wear it?
All right, so are you
I
gonna
just
use another
accept the
action point?
9. It's why it's whatever. I don't know what's bad about this. I wasn't
Okay.
here last time.
Well, you immediately go limp as suddenly you're no longer able to move and you fall to the ground. Your eyes are still awake and aware, and you are completely aware of your surroundings, and you feel this intense fire in your blood just spread throughout your body, all through your veins, as you take 21 acid damage.
Okay.
Yep, bad idea. I start walking.
How long am I down for?
Oh, well, I mean, is anybody doing? I mean, it looks like Brandon one is just like, fuck you, dude, walking away.
I
So,
mean, fuck around and find out.
So he's paralyzed, right?
Yeah.
Can I just throw him on the back of Panto and just like have him drag it, like carry him? Or is he still small where it's not going to work?
no, I mean, Pantone is a medium creature, so
Just for the purposes of to keep on moving, not like to actually ride him type thing.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I would say that that's doable for Pantone. But Takash, give me another Constitution save. Well, that's unfortunate. So you remain paralyzed and you take another 22 acid damage.
So I'll just Brandon one. You hear in your mind Takash say, "Hey, can you do something about this?"
I will huff, turn around, and walk back. And oh, good. And I will cast Lesser Restoration to remove paralysis.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
this is poison, presumably.
It is.
I'm going to lay on hands for 5 points.
Okay. So the paralysis has been dealt with, and then you neutralize the poison before it could attempt to
Yes.
once more re-inflict the issue. And now, Takash, you have a better idea of what it is that these things are flinging at you, whatever they may be.
Sure. I stand up, I pull the thing out of my cheek and go like this. There's like a glow. Well, that is certainly unfortunate. Let's keep moving, folks. I'm gonna probably heal myself some more. I'm gonna just use the actually, you know what? Maybe I should keep those lay on hands just in case I need to do this again. I just only have one spell slot left, so just going in hard. It's fine. Move.
All
I'm
right.
gonna examine this needle. So while we walk.
Okay. So the thing that strikes you most about the needle is it seems to be maybe one of the thorns from the trees that has been broken off and repurposed into a needle. Maybe even to some degree it's been shaved down, but you can see like some of the more natural, well, natural is not exactly the right word for it, but sort of like as if it was grown rather than just completely shaped.
Okay. if any of those armors that we're carrying around have a helmet, I'm gonna put it on.
Okay.
And imagine you do that and like you put the helmet on, but it's got like it's got water in it, so you just it's just
Oh yeah. Yeah, you could-
Presumably, I could tell if it had water.
Actually, we did say we would like fill up the helmets and then immediately drink out of the helmets because you can just stock up.
I just like look around as we're moving. I'm like, I have a rather uncanny method of hitting. I'm not easy to hit.
So is there anything else that you guys are doing as you move through this forest, being accosted by creatures beyond your view?
Not that I can think of.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything that will actually help. Because they're all, even if I had something, they're definitely too far away. Yeah, I got nothing.
Okay. So, everybody give me a perception check. At disadvantage.
Oh, now I can roll. All right.
Okay. So, Takash, message coming your way.
Poor Trebek.
I dive after it. I launch myself towards it.
Okay. So, as you're doing that, Lux, does a 21 hit you?
Yep.
So, something has come from behind you and has wrapped a wire across your throat and begins pulling you back as Takash lunges at the thing. You take 6 bludgeoning damage and 1 necrotic damage, and you are grappled and restrained. Only Takash can act because everybody else is surprised. So Takash, what is it that you do in response?
Even Melodia was surprised.
Yeah, I have a alert.
Okay.
I see a
So
23 on Melodia. That's one more higher than mine.
Is at disadvantage.
I forgot about that part. Yeah, you're right. Ready to spring into action there.
okay. So Melodia, you can also act.
And I'm sorry, the information is pretty much the same that Garrett pretty much around the neck being pulled backwards.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I see what it is?
Um
I'm not on the board.
so it looks kind of like so here's an image of it. Let me just change something real quick.
Is it a measle?
And I will share screen so that people at home can see.
If you get caught by surprise by these things in Baldur's Gate, it's kind of annoying too.
So Takash and Melodia, what do you do?
I've launched myself forward. You see my hands like go through that hole and start to swing as it pulls a sword from it.
Okay.
And I'm going to take a shot at it, trying to get a hunter's mark on it, essentially.
Okay. Because it is behind Lux, it is going to get half cover.
I have a sharpshooter. I'll put it up in just a second.
Okay. So then you ignore that. So Takash, we'll start with you. Go ahead and make your attack.
The fuck? Come on.
So that's a
Multi-attack?
miss.
Better?
Because you're actually acting on this creature's turn still, um, this is kind of a reaction that you guys are getting. So you're
Okay.
not able to take a full action.
I'm not even on the board.
Oh, that's what you said earlier. I didn't. Let me take care of that.
I think you can drag and drop your own token.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
Wait, why is your
I can't control that one.
yeah, why is it not linked to Takash?
What happens if I do it? Ha! That one I can do. Oh, and now, yeah. Oh, well.
Oh wait, so it doesn't have the other stuff. Whatever. You can fill in the all that other stuff for the bubbles. And then Melodia, go ahead and take your reaction. Are you using the sharpshooter?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I'm not seeing the -5 in there or the +10.
No, sorry. I was, man.
Yeah, I'm not sure why, but the bubbles aren't filled in on my character either. Although I see the bars above his head, so that's very weird.
No, I was just using that
I see it.
to ignore the cover. I was just posting that more than using it.
Okay, so you're not taking the
No.
penalty.
No,
to-
no.
Okay. All right, so you definitely hit the thing and it growls in response. And then the next thing you know, it has disappeared along with Lux.
And with that though, my hunter's mark should have been applied to it, correct?
Yes.
So at least I have a direction, maybe.
So can you post your hunter's mark?
Yeah.
I see. I just gave my torch 92 hit points.
Hold on one second. I gotta take
beefy
the baby
sword
for a
torch.
sec.
And start hitting things with that.
So buff is torch on the planet.
Yep.
Um. All right, so let's see your hunter's mark. Okay, so yeah, you see a faint trail, leading well into the darkness, over somewhere over here in this direction.
I'm sorry, I was zoomed in a little close. Can you ping that one more time? Oh, okay. Yeah, I see it.
Way out there, so far. What the hell?
Yeah, that
Um,
was really quick.
Lux, you are still restrained and grappled. Um, and because of this thing around your neck, you're not able to speak, but you can take an action.
So is he just dragging me away or something?
He teleported you away.
Oh, okay.
You can see the light of the group, but you are well into the darkness in somewhere in this direction. I'm sorry, Brandon, when you cast daylight,
No, it's not my turn yet anyway. I meant to just look at it, but then my sheet
Okay.
wasn't responding, so I clicked on it.
Hmm. I guess I'll just try to punch this guy at disadvantage.
okay.
Well,
Okay, that's a miss.
critical fail.
Do you want to action point that, or do you want to roll to confirm?
Let me action point it. There we go. 19.
That hits.
Let's try stunning strike.
The creature doesn't seem to be affected by the stunning strike.
Okay, and my last attack. 13.
That just hits.
All right.
All right, so you lash out trying to kick, punch, headbutt the thing as it is choking you with this Garrote. And it maintains its hold on you. And you take an additional 7 bludgeoning damage, and you get 1 level of exhaustion. You also notice multiple pinpricks as needles are shot at you. But it poison doesn't affect you. So you take 3 more piercing damage as 3 needles strike you at various points in your body. All right, so everybody else can act now. You guys can decide what order you want to go in. Melodia, you see a faint trail of energy, almost like maybe a slight pink mist that is leading you to the creature that you have your hunter's mark upon.
I guess I'll go first. I quickly tell everyone down. I'm not gonna. I'll just say southeast. I'm not sure if that's the actual direction, but at
You
least
could also just point.
yeah, point. I'm gonna point that way, and I'm gonna start moving that way. I'm not sure actually how is each square 5 feet on this? Oh, it is okay. So I mean, obviously, with my I don't see anyone else, I'm assuming.
No, you don't see them.
Yeah, okay.
You just see this trail.
Yeah, okay. Then I am going to yeah, use my full action along with Pantone to move 30 feet and I think 40. No, 30. Yep. Down in that direction.
Well, you could dash, and then that would allow you to double move.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Well, we want to dash all
or you can
together,
hold
right?
your
Because
action.
otherwise,
yeah, I was thinking of doing 30 and hold an action in case something comes up because I can shoot really goddamn far and yeah.
So I'll go next and cast daylight. So it's 60-foot bright light and another 60-foot dim for an hour
Okay.
something like that you're
on my
carrying.
yeah on my shield. The same as my light.
All right. Let me.
I mean, you want to cast daylight on somebody else's shield?
Wait a minute.
That's fair.
It would be ironic if you cast on Blade's shield, given that his shield's name is Dawn.
Yeah.
But I
It'll
sort
make it
of
very
assume
difficult for you
that
to sneak.
you've been hanging around in the shadows and sneak around a lot, so I don't know that I would light you up, except maliciously.
Yeah.
But I'll cast it on the armor of Takash, which I covet.
Aim here. Aim here.
Yeah. All right. So then that goes on to Kosh. I don't know
Motherfucker,
why
what is
that-
this?
Oh, that's pretty big. Giant zombie.
That's not there.
I don't believe you.
All right. So
Oh, there's Lux. 10 feet away.
So Lux is about 30 feet off the ground in a tree over here with this other thing.
And I'll just move back to around where Blade is.
And then there's also a few other things that you can see because now that the daylight is going, it is really I think revealed a few others. And while uh and each of the things within this light, you hear them utter screams of pain.
What's line of sight like? I'm wondering for Trebek, who probably will shoot at something. But with all the trees, I don't know what he can actually see or what he can't.
So that is a good point. These things have 3/4 cover. Because they're also up in the trees.
Okay, well, he would probably move back in the direction of Melodia, and at least shoot at one of them. And so can he see where Lux in that one is?
Yeah.
All right, so he would shoot at that one.
Okay, that's a hit. And
Is it with 3/4 cover or 14?
oh, actually no, with 3/4 cover, it is not. Good point.
Take it with you.
Anything else you're doing or Trebek is doing?
No, we both went.
Okay. What about the rest of you? So I would say that Pantone and Melodia, with the daylight now revealing those creatures, you can decide to use whatever action you had readied.
Okay. Pantone can't do much, but I can take a shot.
What do you use Yahoo for?
I just like looking at the homepage, the news sometimes.
Let me see.
I don't actually use it to search for anything. Not a heathen.
I like to hit up Yahoo before I go to my MySpace page.
That's the old one too.
Update my live journal.
I'd like to finish off by trolling some kids in the AOL Instant Messenger text.
So yeah, with the sharpshooter, I ignore 1/2 and 3/4 cover.
Okay. So that is a hit. And you manage to pierce the thing right through its eye. And it begins to fall. Unfortunately, it is also got Lux still in its grasp as it's falling. So Lux, give me a strength saving throw.
You mean just Featherfall? You're fine.
Okay. So it does bring you out over the branch with it, which wouldn't be such a big deal because you have your slow fall ability, but you're hitting other branches on the way down, which each have piercing metal thorns. So you take 15 piercing damage before hitting the ground. All right, is anybody else doing anything?
I well, I guess maybe these seem like our little shits. So I might run towards some, or I don't know if I could really reach anything though, because they're a bit out there.
And they are also in the trees.
Uh, I'm a melee guy, so I got nothing else. I'm just caught in the trees. And I'll stick close to people so that if we have to roll initiative, I can give them bonuses.
Just as that Blade runs away. No, Blade is going to.
Blade is secretly a vampire and is trying to get away from your aura.
Blade pulls out his crossbow and he's gonna kind of run up to a few trees, and then so like run up and then like sit behind the tree and then low and get it ready, and then he'll peek over to try to find one of these that Takash pointed out, and then let loose a bolt.
That's right. I'll stand there and I will dodge.
Okay.
Oof. Well.
And do you have any way of avoiding the 3/4 cover?
Not at the moment.
Okay. So you miss. And it is a critical miss. So go ahead and roll the critical fail chart. $53. So you take a level of exhaustion.
Blade's like, I wasn't even supposed to be here today.
This is my day off.
Supposed to be in the demon grinder. Thematically it doesn't make as much sense, but Blade's gonna use his bonus action to do insightful fighting. Because they've been peppered by these things, so we've lived for like an hour of what their fighting style is. But for the purposes of the combat, I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
It's
So
insight check.
yeah, you're able to use your insightful fighting.
All right. That'll be my turn.
Okay. Anybody else that needs to
I
go?
think that's everyone. I think Lux went.
Okay. So once these creatures have regained enough of their senses, each one in turn fades from sight.
Well, that's ominous.
I'll run over to help Lux up.
I have a hunch these creatures are what koalas turn into if you feed them after midnight.
Who knew that Walla Walla contained such rage? And
Actually, I thought that was pretty obvious.
Everybody that met her or him, I don't know that we ever gendered Walla Walla.
Who knows how to even do that?
Yeah.
We don't know their business. It's Australian.
Yeah.
Everything's weird there.
I always thought that Walla Walla was just misunderstood. I did not realize that it was just pure anger.
Does Lux need any sort of poison purified?
He's a
Mm-mm,
monk.
no.
Oh, that's
So-
right. Monk.
So did this thing like break its neck or something? Like how did it die? I mean, it took an arrow, but
Yeah, it
Between
took
a
an arrow to
crossbow.
the eye. That's what ended up killing it.
all right.
But
Is it
it's also been equally pierced by all the branches falling.
does it look like it has like fluid coming out of it?
Yes.
Okay. I cut its head off with the cleaver.
Okay.
And then I
do so
taste
pretty
whatever
easily.
blood it is to see if it tastes like poison.
What does poison taste like?
Well, I mean, if it tastes funky.
It certainly tastes funky.
Okay.
If you want to see about poison, I guess do you have um proficiency in like an herbalist kit?
Yeah, actually I do. I do have an herbalism kit.
Okay. I would allow you to do an intelligence check using your herbalism kit.
So what's that? Basically a roll with your proficiency or some shit?
Um, well, you should be able to just uh like click on the herbalism kit and then it'll
Okay, I
vary
see.
which attribute.
Yeah. All right. 13 comes at disadvantage.
Okay. So it doesn't taste like poison to you as far as you can tell. Um, I mean, you could ask somebody else to lick it and see if it hurts them.
Hmm.
hey, lick this head. Don't worry, it's fine. I'm tasting it already.
So
Lux comes back. It's like Tropic Thunder. He's got the head.
what about its like arm? His arm's got a bunch of those spikes sticking out of it.
No, the arm doesn't have any spikes sticking
Okay.
out of it.
But
Does
the
it look
head-
familiar? How about that? Yeah, does it look familiar? Have we seen these things before?
Um,
Or learned of them?
I would let anybody that's trained in Arcana do an Arcana check.
I got religion. Best I could do is a religion.
Um, so branded one, you've heard of these things before as dangerous fey creatures. Most of the stories that you've heard associate them with the what is it? Solanus? Either Solanus, which is the plane of um like the Fey court, the fairy
Mm.
court is there, But also, what are the different planes of Eberron again? Lamania. So Thelanis and Lamania, you've never heard of anything that would place fey creatures here in Fernia, but then again, you have met Mad Maggie and the red caps, which are also creatures that are typically associated with Thelanis or with Lamania.
I'm not sure I would actually share any of that. Like, that would feel a little too pedantic and nerdy to share with the broader group. That these things should be in two different, more Fey-like planes. Takash probably wouldn't understand anything I said.
That's not true. Try. One of my channel hosts literally banishes things. 2 other planes.
Yeah, but
Back to
that
their
doesn't.
plane, I should say.
If I knew that, I probably would share it, but I don't.
It hasn't come up yet. We've been in Fernia, so trying to banish a devil wouldn't do any good.
It would just seem from the branded one's perspective, it would just seem like pointless trivia. Like, oh, I know what
Yeah.
planes these things are originally from, but they're still shooting poison darts at us invisibly. I don't know how to do anything about that.
Other than the garrote, what else does he have on him?
That is a good question. Let's see.
$35 water skins.
But they're all tiny fairy size, so they only amount to 1 water skin.
So he has a scimitar that is held on his belt, and what appear to be fairly crude necklaces that are just, from what you can see, twine and stones or shells or bones.
Okay. Is the garrote anything? Is it just anything special?
I mean, it doesn't appear so in your hands.
All right, I'm going to take the garrote. How big is this guy? Is he
He's about 5.5 feet tall.
real stringy and
Yeah.
not much, you would say, meat on the bones?
Nope. You want a taste? Well, you've already had a taste. Yes. Do you want more?
Could get down
The
to
new-
this. Could get down to that.
The new fish egg.
Hmm. I'm going to take the head with me.
Okay. Is there anything else anybody's doing?
Uh,
I would also take the dodge action. Cause I'm assuming they've all just fled. Maybe, but we'll see.
So you guys spend a minute, which becomes 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and there doesn't appear to be any new attempts to assault you. The pinging of the needles has ceased.
So we should continue on. This brighter light is only gonna last another 50 minutes or so.
let's hurry.
Does it look like we could get the crossbow bolt out of the head or not without damaging it?
Well, it wasn't uh wasn't it Melodia's?
Yeah, it was
Right.
an
Oh.
Yeah,
arrow.
it was my arrow. Yeah.
So Melodia, were you actually using an arrow or did you generate one from the bow?
No, I was using the with the magical quiver. The
Quiver plenty.
yeah, the quiver
Oh,
of plenty.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then yeah, that one you can retrieve.
So we're walking on.
Yep.
Yep.
Let's pick up the pace.
Blade's looking a little sluggish, but he tries his best to keep up.
I mean, I assume we're traveling at like overland travel pace. I'm not sure we want to risk the extra exhaustion of like double timing it.
I do not think it would be a good idea. You just risk losing more water.
Um, the overload travel pace is
It's like 24 miles
24
an hour.
miles in a day.
That's assuming we have a 30-foot movement speed, which I think is correct on average for now, until somebody gets 3 levels of exhaustion. and we slow down.
Speaking of which, who currently has levels of exhaustion?
Blade
Trebek does.
Apparently, I do.
Yeah, and I do.
I don't.
All right, so Lux has 1 level. Blade has a level of exhaustion. Takashi, you have a level of exhaustion.
Yep. That's what I think. I don't remember when I got it, but it's also been a while.
Okay. So you guys continue moving forward. About
use
10
it.
minutes. Or I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess I should check here. Recovering spell slots with a action point. Am I cool to do that?
Action points.
And I can never remember which one we do things with like that with.
You can regain 1 spell slot. You can cast up to 5th level.
Oh, just 1 spell slot.
Yeah.
Then that. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have the spell slot, but I do have protection from poison prepared. That would help one of us. Maybe. Maybe the light's bright enough for a little while. So they get away from us.
So after about 10 minutes, you hear a voice from some it's a voice that is like within a few feet of you, but you don't see the source of the voice, but it says, please don't be alarmed.
Well, I'm gonna be.
Blade proceeds to be alarmed.
You
And
can't
defiant.
tell me what to do. You're not my mom.
What was that?
Except, yeah, he literally starts ringing like an alarm clock.
Um, and he says, please, we noticed the light that you bring. Are you followers of the great light?
How about you show yourself?
This is the best I can do.
Light will reveal all.
I take out the head of that creature and say that's the best he could do too, and this is what happened.
Look, I don't mean you any harm, but you are using magic to create light, and I am a creature that in light such as this, and even brighter, I become hidden. It is not my choice to not reveal yourself to you. This is just my state of being as long as the light is present.
Throw a tarp over to Gosh. See what he see this guy.
Are they like, or is this voice like coming from in front of us or to the side or like?
Yeah, in front of you.
I reach out.
I am a servant of the silver flame, blessed by it. The others here are not hostile to the flame. I don't know if that's the same as the light that you mentioned.
The great light comes in many colors. Silver is certainly among them. It is possible that in some way we are kin, at least in terms of our beliefs. But this is a very dangerous forest, particularly for ones that bear light. I know that this is a strange thing, but I would like to offer you shelter if you are open to it.
Offer what again?
Shelter.
Shelter.
Yeah, Takash, if you didn't catch the forest, this place is dangerous if you didn't catch it.
Yeah.
Okay, just didn't know.
I don't see how we can
Okay.
refuse shelter since we found nothing akin to it in this forest.
What does this shelter look like exactly?
It is beneath the ground.
Is it cool?
Is it cool?
Is it is
It's
it
pretty rad.
is it will it keep these meat bags from overheating?
I I think I understand what you're asking. The ambient temperature of the shelter is similar to what is up here.
We
Although we may
probably
be able
can't afford to delay.
That's oddly specific.
We need to find some place where at least some of us can lower our ambient temperature.
we
You
we
have like
have something that might be able to help with that.
These guys are into cold plunges. Okay.
No, any chance I can get a read on the voice? Uh,
You can give me an insight check with disadvantage.
Disadvantage seems fair. I can only hear it. Ah, God.
I mean, this is something that popped out in front of you. It did give you warning to some
Yeah.
degree and said not to be alarmed. It is offering you things that are pleasant, but this is also something that could very easily be a trap. So your spider sense is still going, even though he's seemingly a potential ally.
And we
Yeah.
gladly accept your offer.
Yeah. I I will also accept, yes. It seems a better risk than staying out here for now. What is this shelter? How do we get there?
As I said, it is underground, but um, the entrance will be revealed with the light that you carry.
Delightful.
Uh, so it is difficult for me to ask you to follow me since you cannot see me, but I can take one of your hands and guide you.
How about a whistle?
Huh?
Can you whistle? We follow you by
No.
sound.
I suppose I could hum.
So to take Belkanog by the wing.
Yeah, that's true. We do have we have one little munchkins we can give to him. Hey, we can make it look like young Belganog can fly. Can
Can
you hold
we-
this one?
Yeah, can you just hold something so we can watch you? You might be invisible, but
That is actually a good idea. Does anybody have anything that I can carry or hold?
Volunteers?
I
Is he,
I
is
mean,
he looking?
I have a wooden staff. I mean, that could be a weapon, but I feel it's a very
Here, you know what?
I got
not that
You like-
dangerous of a weapon.
Light is important. Here is a torch. I'll light a torch for him.
Okay. I can carry this if that is how you would like to proceed.
I think it'd be best if we have our hands available in case we are accosted again.
That is fair. I understand the hesitation and the need to be wary. And then it takes the torch, and the torch seems to float. And you follow the torch for a few minutes, and you come to a tree. But as Takash gets closer to the tree, and the light is like the true daylight, not the beyond the initial 60 feet, but once you get within 60 feet of this thing, suddenly there is a uh, a hole that reveals itself in the ground that appears to be a stairway that you can walk down, and the torchbearer goes down into that hole, taking those steps.
Told you just need to hug a tree.
So we head down.
Yeah.
I'll let the torch go first, and then I will follow.
I think he already went down.
Perfect.
So you go down fairly deep into the ground, probably about 30, 40 feet down, and then you hit the tunnel, and the tunnel is incredibly disorienting. It appears to be a mirrored surface that reflects the light uh, incessantly and actually enhances the light and the effect to the point where it is blinding. Um, and it is incredibly uncomfortable for everybody. Nobody can really see very far.
So like we can't see far just because like the light is so bright, or
Yeah,
'cause
so
it
bright and
keeps
blinding.
getting into our eyes.
Yeah. So if anybody had a way of like shades or some other
Put on
um
my Oakleys.
Yeah. Blade has his factory built lenses. But
yeah, people tend to prepare for the darkness in these games. Not often that the bright light is the thing that you need to worry about.
I mean, I realize we're from Eberron, but I don't remember sunglasses being in the list of possible equipment we could buy.
Is this caused from the torch?
Uh, Given
Probably
how
for
bright
me.
everything is, it's hard to say. Um, and it was not until Takash actually took a step into the room or the tunnel that you could see to be mirrored before you entered it. But once Takash uh, went into it, it became completely blinding and unbearable to keep your eyes open.
Can I dismiss the daylight spell?
You can, yeah.
Just give me a cloak or something. Cover it up.
Um, so once the daylight spell is no longer active, the creature comes into light, and the creature that has led you here uh, looks like this.
Thought you were going to say the creature that has led you into his trap.
To your doom.
Looks like this. And you notice that as the light of your daylight fades, the light of this creature increases, and as it is emanating light from it, from its very skin, and that causes the blinding effect once more. Um, and the creature, seeing what's happening, says, my apologies. This safe space that me and my kin have created is made to keep those creatures out. And so we used our natural abilities as well as this special material that we make to ensure that it is too bright for these creatures to bear. I can provide some cloth to put over your eyes. It won't allow you to see very well, but it will at least make it a bit more bearable.
I'll wait for the best.
Yes, we will need it if we are going
Yes,
to
yeah.
continue.
So he hands each of you some cloth that you can tie over your eyes. It does help make it a little bit more bearable. It's not so painful to your eyes. You can kind of see out of like there are small holes in uh parts of the cloth, and so it acts kind of like a um pinhole glasses that you're not able to see very well, but you can see to some degree. And and it's good enough for you to be able to follow the the creature that brought you here. And he says, um, you will see my kin very shortly. They are like me. Um, and he brings you into a room, and there's three others very similar in appearance to this one, and they all stand ready to defend themselves. And the one that led you here says, "Easy, brothers. These are also followers of the great light." And they seem to ease themselves. Um, Please sit down, make yourselves comfortable. Now, I think what you said that some of you are need to reduce the temperature to ease yourselves. Can you explain a little bit more about what it is that you'd need or what you meant?
It is too hot for some people here. We need it to be less hot. Considerably, if at all possible.
What do you mean less hot?
Yeah. It's a
You're muted, Kurt.
seems a concept you are not do not have senses for, perhaps.
Humans require a lower temperature to survive long term. Some of us, all but two of us, are using magic to help them resist the high temperatures of Fernia. But two of us are just slowly overheating.
Are you familiar with water? Water,
Is
when it
it-
gets too
And
hot,
Is
I have
that
an idea.
boils away.
is that the substance that makes the ash turn to a a, a viscous sludge?
Yes.
I'm sure there's probably others. But yes.
Can I take a minute? I want to take a 1 minute ritual to change Pantone to ice elemental, their ice version over fire
Mhm.
to convey the difference between hot and cold.
There's our AC right there. Stick close to
Uh,
her.
you can see that each one of them instantly reacts to the change and the slight cooling effect that Pantone can produce ambiently. And they say, "Ah, we found this thing that makes it like this and makes it so that the ash becomes like sludge. Um, you can have it. We do not want it." And one of them goes and produces what appears to be a metal um, uh, uh, metal jug, uh, and he hands it to Takash. Since Takash, you were the one bearing the light, so they seem to maybe trust you a bit more.
Sure.
And so he hands that to you, and he says, "Please take it. We have no need or use of it, nor do we want it."
I'll look inside the jug.
Oh, it has some command word that you can ask, and it will bring out this very uh, it feels like what this creature feels like, but it is also, it makes the ash here turn to a viscous sludge. Please don't utter the code word while we are here. It is very uncomfortable.
Sure. Sure. I, can you write it down so that we know what it is, so that we can activate it?
Um, I can whisper it in your ear. I don't think that will activate the jug.
Can you deactivate it?
Yes, with the same word.
Oh, perfect.
And so the thing whispers the word into your ear, trusting you not to say it
Huh.
while in their presence.
Well, all right, hold on. I don't know. No. It was close though. He thought about it. He was like, make it. Oh, okay, gotcha.
So,
What's this jug like look like?
um,
Can I make? Can I play it as an instrument?
how?
Like a
Oh,
jug.
No, like a jug.
I mean, my designated instrument is spoons, so we can start a band if you get the jug going.
I play bass.
yes, it is one that you can play.
Beautiful. I go, hey, watch this.
Um, so, where are you from? We've never seen any like you before in this forest.
Many of us are from Eberron.
What's that?
It is
Far
a
away place.
It is pleasant and cool. It is filled with life and splendor. We were trapped into Fernia, not by our doing. This place of fire and chaos.
Okay. It sounds awful.
It's quite something.
The land is not a friendly place. It is hard. It wears on the bones.
Oh, then it is not so different from here.
No, I mean Fernia.
This place. This place is like that.
Um,
The other place is occasionally like that. There are parts of it that are like that.
Well, it definitely sounds like a very different place than this.
Considerably.
Do
We
you-
haven't ever seen. I don't think I've ever seen any of your kind.
Do you call
There are not
Fernia
many
home?
of us.
Have you always
Um,
been here, or did you come here from someplace else as well? Perhaps your ancestors did.
as far as we can tell, this is where we have always lived. Um,
Strange place to be.
well, it is protected from those creatures that hunt in the darkness
Oh.
of the forest.
Okay, so you've always been here. I, I was considering the forest as a whole. Are there other places like this within the forest?
No, just this one.
Uh, in the direction that we were heading, how much further would it be till we got to the end of the forest?
If you were to walk, it would be another 2 hours. But if you wish, you can travel the tunnels. Some of the tunnels go in the same direction, and you can find your way out from there.
The tunnel's dangerous.
No, not for my kind, but it is important to make sure that the light is up. If the light goes down, then it could invite the dangers of those creatures. It's hard for them to find the entrances because you need the light to create the entrance. But if if you were to travel without the light, um, it's possible that they could come down and that you would be unsafe from them. Of course, one of us can travel with you, and that would maintain the light.
We would be much obliged.
You have these mirrors in those tunnels as well.
Yes, we have made great pains over many years to create this material from the trees and to line the tunnels with them. It makes it very safe for us to move about the forest.
How many of you are there?
There's just us, me, and my kin here.
How long have you been here?
Well,
Can you remember a time where you weren't here?
no,
You know the name Belshalor.
no. Should we know that name?
Do you
There
know
was a
any
great
names?
there is a great priestess of the light who is being held by Belshalor so that he may kill her as part of a ritual. We are on
That
our way to
is
free
that the
her and
great,
stop him.
do you mean the great darkness that hides within the light?
Yes, that is another name he is known by.
That is a terrible force. It is so scary to think that the darkness could hide in the light as we hide in the light. Um,
He is hoping to reverse his situation so that he can hide no more and extinguish as much of the light as possible, which is why he needs to be stopped. If you
yes,
serve the light, you should come with us. Help us defeat Belshalor and free the priestess of light.
well, we certainly do not wish to have the darkness within the light to to get any kind of victory over the light, the great light, but we are not warriors. We hidden in this forest. How could we help?
You seem to have survived a long time here in Fernia. You must have skills that enable you to fend off enemies.
Only within these tunnels that we have created. Before the tunnels, things were much more difficult. There were more of us, but now there are few.
How did you build the tunnels? And the mirrors.
The tunnels were here already. Um, it was a bit of work to create the material that lines the tunnels. Uh, and it was very difficult work to create the magic that allowed for the tunnels to be protected at their entrances. But the knowledge of that magic has been lost for ages.
Have you were you using those particular types of trees up on the surface as part of the mirroring?
Yes,
So
it
you
was
could
it was the mirrors were refined, and also um we used the unique properties of our lights to enhance the quality of the metal.
do you have any capability of doing this still?
Yeah,
Because our ability to do anything with those trees was limited to extreme effort.
With
But as you say, they do have some rather unique qualities. This material, if they could be fashioned into weapons, I'm positive that they could be very put to great use. Heck, guys, they make these needles from them. I don't know how they do that, but I'm gonna keep that needle, by the way.
we do have a tool that we use to remove the trees so that we can take what we need from them. It is able to cut away the metal fairly easily. And he goes and retrieves something that just looks like um, a a block of dark wood, and then he infuses it with a bit of his light, and then it turns into a sword of light.
now that is something. I thought you said you were not the warriors, but
Or
you
not, this is a tool.
I can make a sword.
is a tool for what? For killing?
No, to cut into the trees.
May I examine this sword, this blade?
Sure. And he hands it to you, although the ability to examine it is hindered by the fact that your sight is so badly impacted by all of the bright light.
But I have practice maneuvers. You know, that's like step away as best I can and just like test the balance of this thing.
Doesn't feel like it's there at all except for the block of wood.
It's like the antithesis to my own sword, and I pull it out.
How did you do that?
I don't know.
Are they talking about him pulling a sword out?
He pulls it out of time, though.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
They're not just amazed when he yanks it out of its scabbard.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where I was like,
The sword has no scabbard. It's literally always being held. In its existence, it's always being held. I can't say at all times it's being held because obviously whenever I let go, it's not being held. But the sword is still being held by me. Someone else.
We have others like that, so if you wish to take it, you are welcome to it.
Yeah. We should examine these. Again, they very well could be quite useful. They pierce through the demon grinder. At least just the trees can, so surely the weapons, being more refined, can do some damage. How do you sheathe this one? Or
Oh, he touches it and he takes back the light into himself.
okay, right. But I can't do that. Can you teach me how to do this?
Oh, I thought you were a follower of the Great Light.
Well, each follower has their own talents, right?
I suppose, but if you are a true follower of the Great Light, then through your faith, you should be able to create the light that brings forward the tool.
I believe in you, Takosh. Your faith is great, and my faith in you is great.
Okay, hold on. So he handed me the tool that they use to manipulate the trees.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Somehow I missed that part of it.
But it's just a block of wood right now.
You're right.
And you have to infuse it with your natural light. Get it to work. Just smite it.
Sure.
Smite the block. I'm sure that will work. Radiant damage.
Yeah, I mean, if that's all it takes, he'll give it a shot. You know.
Okay, so you're gonna essentially infuse it with like a spell slot as if you were spending a smite.
No. I'm just gonna think real hard, think real hard on this thing, or not really think, but like sort of focus on the things that the Silver Flame tries to posit. It's sort of tenets, if you will. I don't remember what those are, and it's possible Takash also does not.
I would say light.
But I do have a religion check. I'm proficient in religion, so I might actually know it.
I mean, you're welcome to make the religion check to try and get the knowledge of what the Silver Flame followers believe in, but that won't help create the effect.
Sure.
Because it's different between knowing something and believing in something.
No, I know that. But I got to remember what the tenets were before I can like focus on the tenets part of it and their wisdoms and what they provide, if that makes sense. How am I supposed to follow the doctrine if I don't remember what it is?
Because following the doctrine isn't enough to be a true believer.
Oh, whatever. You don't realize how dumb he is, okay? He might be able to convince himself of anything.
All right. I will allow you a religion check. I will say right up front, you need a natural 20 to do what you're suggesting.
All I need at first is the knowledge, and then again, then he's gonna focus more inwards as far as like how he feels about the doctrines, right? And use it to generate the faith that is necessary. Maybe, obviously.
So close. 19.
So on a 19, I don't know the doctrines of the.
No, you gather the doctrines and everything of the Silver Flame. Sure.
Got it. Do we have like a couple of them that I can? Maybe like a wisdom check to be able to. Again, natural 20. I'm willing 100% to accept. It's like the only chance I have to make himself a believer, right? Create every cognitive dissonance necessary, if possible. Like on a natural 20, it's what?
Okay.
Right.
A pure wisdom check.
Yeah.
Natural 20.
Here we go. I could do it. Obviously, I could do it. Watch this. I didn't do it.
Well,
So he tries. He thinks you guys are probably moving on. He's like off in the corner for a minute, like trying.
Oh, I mean, I would wait through this. I mean, I know you have some sort of spiritual power. I don't know what the outlines of it really are. It never even occurred to me you might potentially be a follower of the Silver Flame. You just came through a portal from Battle World. And so I'm waiting to see if you have some sort of spiritual power that can ignite this sort of light. I've actually been touched by the Silver Flame. I have no idea how to, like, other than trying to light the block on fire or cast light on the block. Like,
Right.
I would be also fumbling around trying to figure out how to turn it into a sword.
It's so after a number of minutes, probably, of sitting there, he would just kind of open his eyes again. Obviously it doesn't matter because he's got the blindfold on. He's like, "Your faith is strong. It seems I must work on mine. Perhaps, branded one. You have been literally branded. Yes, perhaps you could do it. Here, you give it a shot."
I have never worked with a tool like this before. So I am also at a loss for how, other than casting a spell on it, I am not sure how to infuse what the Silver Flame has given me into an external object. But, you know, what the heck? I'll since it's like no resources, I'll cast light on the block.
In doing so, creates a sword.
Oh, what do you know? First try. Super easy. And I'll hand it back to Takash. And then I'll dispel the light. Try again.
You hand it back. You go ahead.
I mean, I don't know what we'll be able to make of the trees in the time that we have. So I'm happy to recreate the sword for you if you like.
Okay, well now, so here's where we start testing limits. Can you do this from afar? All right, I'll hold it from over here. I'll step back. I'll just go like 5 feet away. Now try it. Now kind of hold it off. Do you have to hold it, or can you do it from over there?
That's what I'm checking just to see. No, it's range touch. I could use sorcery points to do it from a distance.
Hmm. Okay.
Sounds like you could, but you won't.
Right. I don't want to spend resources to get a tool I don't know if we need that I could get without spending the resources by touching it.
Well, at the very least, maybe we can use this to mine us a weapon from the tree.
We can use it to potentially slice off a piece of the tree. The entire trees are enormously tall, and it would be dangerous to simply hack one down without knowing what we're doing.
For sure.
I don't know why we would want a sample of the metal. I suppose in the long run, once all of this adventuring is over, it might be valuable. But in the short term, it would just be an additional weight for us to carry. I think we have adequate weapons enough that we probably won't need to hit anyone with a tree branch.
What if somebody else needs? Those things do tremendous damage to inanimate objects. That's all I'm saying.
I'm happy to recreate the sword, and you can saw off a tree branch if you like on our way out.
It wouldn't be
Although
for me.
I
It
was
would be
thinking,
it would be for one
I
of you.
was-
My sword can already do that.
I don't use weapons for the most part.
Yeah.
Tree branch, I guess I'm on the fence as to whether or not that's a very Melodia weapon. It is a tree branch,
I mean,
but it's
I
a
would
metal
be-
tree branch.
I'd be more intrigued if I could fashion them into arrows, but I don't know if I could do that. I mean, if I can get the thorns into arrows, but
Well, they're shooting these needles.
yeah, I got a feeling they're like more blowgun darts, though, if I had to guess. But
Do you know how to fletch?
I don't know.
Yeah, can you make your own arrows? And if so, then surely you could make one of these into an arrow.
I pull back my bow and just an arrow appears, and I reach into my quiver and just an arrow appears. So no, no, I can't.
You can make arrows, you just can't fletch arrows.
No.
Understood. I guess fletching's technically the feathers, but whatever.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like it would be very much of a Lux or Blades type weapon. There might be a use for it, but I'm not sure that there would be. Like I said, we can always get one on the way out. I was hoping to leave through these tunnels and maybe avoid the rest of the forest, but perhaps we'll come out in proximity to a tree. In which case we can recreate the sword and see if we can make something of it.
I mean, the only other thing I was thinking is maybe we somehow use like how they use the mirrors to blind, not to intentionally blind us, but use that to our advantage. Not so much the actual metal of the trees, but use the reflectiveness of the trees.
All right. All right. So we got to make a convex or concave thing, right?
So Hawk, we're gonna make
Like
it.
a
We're gonna make
death
a
ray
death laser.
out of a-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Death
out of a
laser.
concave mirror
All we need is a light beam, and then we have a death laser.
and a montage to make this work.
A series of mirrors to condense the light down to.
I mean, I would think
It's
it
already
might
fucking
actually be.
blinding to us. So.
I realize our new friends here use that as a tool, but it's possible we could use it as a weapon. It's strong enough to slice the trees that we had no effect on.
We must take it regardless. Who knows what lies ahead?
I agree. If he's offering it for free, there's no reason for us not to carry this block of wood. How big is the block of wood? Like, I assume it's like handheld. So
Yeah,
not
you can hold it
very
in your
cumbersome.
hand. It's not like a comfortable like the hilt of a blade, but it is like something you can hold in one hand.
Seems like something it's worth taking.
Yeah, let's see something. You're not proficient in that weapon, are you?
In what weapon?
In,
I don't think
in
any of
whatever,
us.
in
I
whatever
don't
shape
think-
that is.
I don't think any of us are proficient in that weapon. If only Ewan were here. That was his specialty, being proficient in everything.
Yeah. Being proficient in inanimate objects. Deadly with a deadly with a bar stool. Yeah, I was a little curious how this stands up to a normal weapon. Perhaps we can clash with this. I have a spare longsword.
I don't use swords. I look at Blade. Blade uses swords.
Well, I can just hold up the thing and let me see that. I can just kind of tap it first and then see if it just kind of, I don't know, see what happens, I guess.
Hey,
Or
what are you
my
doing?
purview.
I will. So I'll cast Light on the Block again, and then I'll take the spare longsword and I'll just like hold it out, and that's it. I'm just holding it out with one hand.
That's fine. Yeah. So I'll like tap the light blade like Kuwabara,
So the
and then kind of see if it taps, like if there makes contact at all. If it does, then kind of swing at it.
so it doesn't make contact per se, which causes you to just have the light blade pass completely through the sword. But once that happens, a moment later, the sword seems there's like a line that burns into it, as if it's like a delayed effect, and the sword is now in two.
We should keep it. Hey, do you? Is it all right if we keep this one?
Yeah, it is okay.
And it-
We have more.
This is going to require some experimentation, I think. See what shapes we can make with this. Can it only make the one ray of light, or can you adjust the size? How does that work?
Um,
What happens if you cast daylight on it?
we we've never attempted to alter it in any way.
Something to try, perhaps at some point. By the way, another thing that didn't make it into the summary. Remember how we were going to long rest when we got into the forest, and Takash set up all these alarms, and we never did that. We are operating without rest for like, I know we are for like 5 or 6 hours now beyond where we were going to long rest. So we're probably starting to get tired.
Yeah.
And I would say if we're going to rest, and if there is a way to use that jug to cool us down, this is probably the best place to do it.
Perhaps you guys can sit next to the to Pantone there and have them provide some cooling for you for now. We could perhaps do it on the opposite side of this room from our new friends, so
I'm
as not to disturb
curious,
them.
since Pantone is not often in her ice form, I am curious what this jug does that may provide a cooling solution for us.
Yes, so we don't know what it does yet, right?
Right, we only know the command word for it, and we
Okay.
don't know that. Takash does,
Yeah.
and I'm afraid he'll forget it.
So far, I have remembered. So if I can remember it, then Takash should theoretically be able
Klaatu.
Yeah,
Grata.
Nick, firm.
to. Oh, I said it then. Go on, start working.
So the creature that led you here says if you're going to play with that jug, I would ask that you do it far away from this spot.
If you could show us to a safe distance, I think we would like to see what the jug does.
Okay.
Probably a good idea.
Um, all right. And actually, you can't see him because of the light now. You could see him as the daylight spell faded, and then his light grew more intense. Um, but each of you is blindfolded anyway, so you're not really seeing much to begin with. But
I guess,
he
I was just
does,
hoping that he was visible in his own light.
uh, yeah,
Well, now he's got the sword light from the light spell.
but he shows you to a space that is far from where he and his kin were, and he says, "Here, you can use this, and if you decide to follow this tunnel, it should be in a similar direction to the one that you were traveling. There are many entrances and exits along the way, um, so you should be able to find a good spot to emerge from. But keep a light spell going if you can, just to make sure that the dark ones don't attempt to harm you.
Do we need to keep a light spell going here in this place or just in the tunnels?
Uh, in the tunnels will make the tunnels safer, but the that light spell that you had used when I met you, that is also a sufficient way to keep them at bay. They do not like the light.
At the risk of confusing you further about our natures, I am going to have to at some point here sleep, assuming we can cool down. Um, so that's why I ask if we need to keep lights active here in this place, because we may have to stay here for the next third of a day or so before we leave and go through the tunnels.
What do you mean by sleep? I'm not
That
familiar with this word.
um, it's probably not important, but in order for us to be at our strongest in our connection to the light, we will have to commune with the light or pray for the next 8 or so hours. And we will have to stay here to do that.
Well, you are welcome to stay here as long as you need.
I appreciate that. So the question is, do we need to have a light source here while we do that, or could we do it in the dark?
Once you go into the tunnels, and if I'm not accompanying you and you do not have that light spell that you were using going, the tunnels will darken again. It will be very dark. And once again, the entrances are protected so that they are only revealed when there is a light, which these things abhor. But that does not mean
So,
that they won't accidentally fall into one, in which case, in the darkness, they are at their strongest.
right. So when we're in the tunnels, definitely we will use lights. And when we commune with the light here in this location, it probably will get a little dark.
Okay. Well, as long as you are aware of the dangers, and you know how to protect yourself, then that is really what matters.
Well, we appreciate your help. I assume we'll check in again before we leave. But we would like to test out this jug, so you may be more comfortable if you retreated.
Yes, it is very distasteful for me, so I will leave. But it was good to meet other followers of the Great Light. We do not see anybody like that. So it brought us a great deal of hope to know that there are other light bearers that exist.
Keep up the good fight.
And you as well. And while you do not see him, you get the sense that he is no longer there. And that is confirmed once the light begins to fade and you are once more in complete darkness.
So, I mean, I will cast light for the moment,
So the light
not
spell
sleeping yet.
does create a fairly strong light. It is not nearly as strong as it was with the daylight spell or with the presence of the creature that brought you here.
So what's the command word for the jug?
Well, hopefully the sludge isn't too unbearable, but it is make it rain.
As you say that,
No, I know. That's what Blade sent to me. I don't know. Did you actually send me the keyword? The catchphrase? Not the phrase, but whatever. But the passphrase, or
yeah,
I don't know, whatever the fuck it is. Command word. That's the phrase I'm looking for.
Remember, your command word must be between 8 and 30 characters and contain a couple special characters.
Yeah.
um,
I'm sorry. You can't not use the same as the previous command word.
so that's the command word.
Pluet eam.
And the jug immediately begins producing a fairly significant geyser of very cold water. Probably with the strength of like a fire hose.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a little much.
Fluent AM.
Blade will take a few steps back to avoid getting wet.
It should stop, right? Whenever I say it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Have it. Other people can have it.
So, I mean, I'm sure that Trebek and the branded one are now kneeling down and splashing water on themselves.
Surely there's another word that can do less water than this at one time. Perhaps they just know it. What do I know of this language? This anyway, I know this language that the command word is in.
So that we can guess all the other command words.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it is in the tongue of the giants.
Sure, not Delkier.
Yes.
Those guys really love their water. I don't know, John.
So is this jug, like whenever you say it, that like it just starts erupting water, so it's like a portable fire hose.
Yes.
When we get back to the city, we can douse some fires at least.
I think the citizens would appreciate that.
With
This
this
helps
being
somewhat.
a magic item, if anybody has the ability to cast Identify, that would be a way to learn if there are other code words.
That is not a sorcerer spell. Nor a cleric spell, so I can't get it.
It's not a
It's not a every class gets its spell.
Yeah.
well, I know that, but I'm
Knowledge.
surprised it's
If you were
sorcerer's
knowledge domain, maybe.
Right, and then I'm sure you get it. Or if you were
Yeah.
Arcana Domain, you get it.
Hmm. Oh right, yeah. Yeah, that's definitely not a sorcerer spell though. What do they care? Learning magic, fucking nerd.
We really need a create bathtub spell.
Wow, it's not a sorcerer spell.
Nope.
That's surprising.
I mean, sorcerers just aren't about like raw knowledge about things, and so I'm sure that was the basis on which it was excluded. But wizards don't get dominate beast, so who really loses?
Um, does the branded one know any divination spells?
Uh, he certainly can know divination spells, but I'm not
Right, but
sure
does he have any
if
in
he
particular
actually has
prepared?
any. Let me see. Nope.
Okay.
Well, I have a little bit of healing I can apply before we rest, if we would like, just in case. I don't imagine we will have a problem.
Well, I wouldn't say no.
Yeah, some of you two look pretty rough.
I mean, Trebek's had 7 hit points for the past like 8 hours.
That is certainly rougher than Blade.
Um,
But I just sort of imagined this would be the first time maybe Trebek might think it was worth healing himself, because otherwise he wouldn't want us to waste resources on a guy who was probably going to die of heat stroke anyway.
So we should find and designate a spot where we can unleash some of this water. Occasionally, perhaps, to cool off with.
Is is there a spot in these tunnels that look like they drain? Like, is there any sort of like kind of divots on the side that
Mhm. The tunnels would have no need for that because it never rains here.
Oh, dude, this is how we do it. This is how we bring down this forest. We flood the caverns underneath it.
Right. So, I mean, the closest thing to create bathtub is that I could spend an action point if Mike allows it to rejigger my spells so that I get creation because I actually still have most of my spell slots. I just have been conserving them because we haven't really faced anything where I needed to unload them. So I could cast creation to create for 12 hours a crystal cube 5 feet in diameter, 5 feet in every dimension. And that would be, enough at least for Trebek and I.
So you're making a crystal jacuzzi.
Yes, that will be filled with cold water from the fire hose. Actually, I wouldn't actually go ahead and make it crystal. I would just make it stone. And then it'll last 12 hours.
Yeah, that's long enough. Yeah.
So I
And I wouldn't
guess
actually make it like 5 feet deep because then, Takash might drown.
um so I guess how are you because it wouldn't necessarily be sufficient to uh put the water in the tub and to just let it sit because eventually the tub's water is going to get up to the ambient temperature and
Yeah, but that
then
much water is going to take a long time.
Yeah, that's I just did the math. It's almost 940 gallons.
Okay. And how long does water take to we don't need to worry about that. I'll say it works.
I want
900
to
gallons is a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of gallons.
You
Okay.
see like bits of ice floating in rivers like well into springtime sometimes.
I would say with the creation spell, because you're able to make objects that have fine details. So not
Mhm.
only could you create a tub of the material that you want, but you can create it in such a way that it has like a headrest and will be something that you could lie in along with Trebek and whoever else is going to partake. Um, and you would be able to make sure that it would be comfortable and prevent the likelihood of drowning.
Great. That's what I want to do then.
So that would allow um, you guys, those of you affected by the heat, to rest and to do so without needing any additional Constitution checks. Um, and then you would just need to worry about it during the day. And it would also reset the DC.
nice.
But now we've got a fire hose of cold water. We can just
Yeah. I
spray
will
us down
literally
with.
make it rain. I will actually make it rain.
This
If
will come
necessary.
very handy.
We can handle a couple of hours once we've gotten some rest. Then from there, we don't have to disturb these poor people with the water that they clearly do not want.
All right. So you guys
Well,
are
after all
gonna-
this time, with their obvious, religious affiliations, they could have been making tons of blessed water.
Yeah.
But for what purpose?
What do you mean? Have you seen? You could sell that shit. They could be making a racket.
Who? They live in a forest full
I
of
know,
dark
I know,
creatures.
Let us rest. I'm gonna use some of the water to clean my armor a bit, but
Okay.
otherwise, I'm fine. We can
Uh,
go. We can go a little hungry for now, right? Are we okay with this?
so now guys have a sustainable source of water. Now all you need is food, which I think
So
Brandon one
yeah,
can
I
make.
will use I used my last 3rd level spell slot, but I will use a 4th level spell slot to cast create food and water.
Okay. So all of your water skins are now full if they weren't already, and you have a lot of food.
I'll heal Trebek. Wow, a great amount, more than I was expecting. And then who else needs it as well?
Pantone's down pretty far, but
You could resummon Phantom.
yeah.
I've seen that.
That was the old if we run out of food exploit. Just
Right.
eat Pantone and then resummon them.
We've seen that work too.
That's Thor used to eat his magic flying goats all the time, every night.
But yeah, but anybody else? Lux, Blade, Brandon one. I have 21
down.
more hit points I can heal.
I'll take
I'm
it.
only down 1 hit point, so I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm
I got
down,
hit by a single needle.
down 54.
I will lay a hand upon your shoulder. Feel a warm glow and a sense of comfort as you are healed 21 hit points.
Nice.
How is Blade?
Blade's like a little. He's about half. He's about half health.
Yeah, I'm around half health too. So
36 health HP. Is that for Blade?
That's for Blade. And then I'll cast another one, a 2nd level spell on Takash. At least if this thing cooperates. There you go.
Nice.
so that's 13 and the 8, right?
Yeah. 14 for Blade and 21 for Takash.
Beautiful. That was one of those needles worth.
All right. So now that you guys have healed up, what are you doing?
I go, praise the sacred flame, and then like try and generate some light on my hand. Doesn't work.
Did
But
that
I'm sure you got
did he give us is this a single tunnel or is this like a branching path or like when he got us this far into the tunnel?
Yeah, so it is a tunnel that branches, but Melodia, given that you are a ranger, you have perfect awareness of the direction that you're going and are able to navigate despite the fact that you're underground.
Okay, and then did he give us vague directions? or is that good enough for us to lead out?
That's good enough for you to lead out
Okay,
because
okay.
you know the general direction that you were headed to begin
Okay,
with.
okay.
So you wouldn't be backtracking at all deeper into the forest. You'd be continuing to go out the other end.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
in the forest, Melodia actually could have been like there to the southwest, and all the rest of us would have been like, "What? Which direction is that?"
Mhm.
Yeah, I was going to attempt
Yeah,
the
I
long
guess.
rest.
Yeah.
Do we want to set up watches?
Yeah, I'm in pretty good shape right now, so I can definitely take the first stint.
Yeah. I don't have any spell slots, but I'm okay. I can still hit things. So yeah,
I mean, I would prefer to take last watch.
Yeah,
What-
I'll take first watch. That's fine.
What are you guys
I
doing about the light?
have dark vision. I'm down no health and down no spell slots, so I'm fine.
I'm okay with leaving the light. I've got some extra clothes I can just wrap around my head.
Right, but how would you sustain the light?
Like light only lasts an hour, so
That's
when
true. I
I'm
did forget about
awake
that.
and keeping watch, I can cast light again. But when I'm asleep, obviously I can't.
So I mean, what if we just like wake you
So I
very
mean,
briefly? Hey, like
l-
you know,
well, I mean, I would note that Lux has dark vision, and Melodia has dark vision. There's 4 hours of the 6 hours I have to be asleep. Uh,
But
Blade doesn't.
did we
Blade
get the
doesn't
torch back?
really.
I don't know. Did they give the torch back? I wouldn't really think about it. I got more, so
Yeah, I mean,
I wouldn't have asked for it. They could keep it.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Here,
anyone has a natural way of generating light.
For the first
I-
time ever, I will remove a
I mean-
torch.
I mean,
Inventory.
I guess I can leave. I don't know how much lights Pantone produces, like when he's like in fire mode. I can't imagine. I don't think it's as much as like say a bonfire or anything, but I'm sure he gives off some light, maybe like a 5-foot dim light, maybe. I don't know. Looking
Yeah,
at you.
in
I-
terms of in terms of protection though
Yeah.
from the dark
Yeah,
vision,
yeah, okay.
that
yeah.
wouldn't really help. I mean, it would certainly make the area brighter, but it wouldn't be like the daylight spell.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I think I jettisoned everything that could actually just make fire. Like I don't have any fire making kit.
Actually, I think I might.
I have a tinderbox
Yeah, I have a tinderbox. Yeah.
and a mess kit. I have a
I
mess
mean,
kit.
if you have a tinderbox and torches, then that's all you need to make light.
Indeed.
Right, but it's not the same as daylight. And that's the thing. That's like the light that is emitted by those creatures is equivalent to like the daylight spell. And so anything short of that is while the light will be reflected in
Well,
such a way and focused that it does make it brighter,
could
it's not the same kind of effect that would be protective.
Branded
I
one,
see.
could you put up your alarms again? Just at the I
Yeah,
don't
that
know
wasn't me. That wasn't me. That was, I
Oh.
think, Takash who put
Oh,
up
that was
the
Takash?
alarms.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't have that spell.
maybe if you just
I wasn't planning on having daylight. There's no way to have daylight up all 8 hours.
Oh no, I understand. But
So
the way I look at it is
no,
if
yeah,
we
I was talking
just
to Mike.
if we if we just get a warning, we'll just get everyone up then. But if we're only dealing with a two-way passage, there's only 2 ways they can come at us. Better than all around above us in literally 3 dimensions that they're attacking us from. So I'm thinking as long as we get people could see and maybe an alarm, that should suffice, but I don't know.
Right. I don't think we're going to have any protective level of light around us.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we're only going to have enough light so that maybe people can see, or at least dark vision and light, so that maybe people can see. And I don't know if Takash can do his alarm trick again.
No, I was consuming spell slots to cast those before. All 4 of my firsts. Gone. And now we're not even close enough to be alarmed by them. But for the first, what is it like? As long as we were the first mile that we were within those alarms, if anything crossed through them, we know. Doesn't help us here though.
How long does the alarm spell last?
8 hours.
Yeah, you've definitely been getting pings.
But again, only for the first mile. The range is only a mile
Oh,
on that part. So if I made it audible, it would be audible within 60 feet, apparently. It's like a bell ringing. Maybe we had some pings while we were leaving, but
all
We
right.
talk quietly because I think Dustin is sleeping.
Oh, all right.
was applying maintenance. Hold on. Rebooting for maintenance.
It's
Applying server patches.
I got the new upgrade.
All right, so is there anything else people want to do before you rest?
I will actually, I was not necessarily speaking accurately to the glowing light guy, but I am actually going to pray to the silver flame that we make it through this long rest unaccosted.
You know
I
what?
wish like Zarius, I had that divine intervention thing that I could do.
But the Matt Colville does have the ability to do that in his first book.
So, actually, branded one, give me a wisdom check.
This is my strong suit. 'Cause I'm a sorcerer. Not in that one, I point out.
Yeah. Important. That's important to know. To confirm that.
Amazing.
We don't want to die from praying. Silver Flame's like, this guy is fucking pissing me off. Shut up. I don't think you made it.
Are you sure? What
When
was the
you-
DC?
We want to use this for
You know, a lot of I've been playing. I've played some Baldur's Gate 3 frequently. They have a DC of 1.
And you could still
Okay.
fail it.
Yeah, you can fail it on a nat one, but
Uh-huh.
that's not what this is. No. And then I lay down in my tub, having offered up apparently the worst prayer ever.
Why
Well,
don't
not
you
the
listen to me
worst.
anymore?
Again, I mean, we could still get the light going. We can wake you up every hour, just once an hour. Hey, right here. And you just like touch it. Fucking
I would
go
say
away, and then it
casting
lights
a
up.
spell is more than light activity.
A single spell.
Oh,
Okay, so imagine you wake up and you have to swing a maul or a sledgehammer. That's gonna make it just the act once is gonna make it difficult to go back to sleep.
Yeah, but the
So-
rules specifically say 1 hour of this act. No, it's fine.
so then I am also going to need somebody to keep that thing, like give me torches because I can't cast light so that I can see on my watch.
I will lay down. Clatter, clink, clink, clink. 9 unlit torches. Feel free to use them.
Well, I will put, I will also need access to the tinderbox because I can't light fires.
Sure.
All right. So you guys do your long rest, your various watches. As far as you know, nothing has piqued your interest or gotten your attention.
I want to roll perception anyways. I don't know.
You only roll when I tell you to roll.
So we get the long rest and recover some levels of exhaustion.
Yeah. I think everybody that was exhausted only had 1 level.
Yep.
Is that correct?
Yeah. So, feeling good.
And just for clarity, I changed pants on back to fire.
Okay.
I had
I'm sure,
that
God,
fucking heroes feast going. I've dropped in hit points.
so I am sure Trebek will offer to drag his own armor today.
Are you sure? I don't mind.
I'm sure he'd be fine carrying his own burden again. He's not going to wear it though, because still disadvantage on saves.
Right.
Okay, so you guys are awake. You've made all of your preparations for the day ahead. So now how do you proceed?
Wait, I haven't. Let me look through my spells here. Hold on.
Wasn't that guy gonna come with us?
That he offered, we didn't necessarily take him up on it. And he seemed like he was sort of assuming he wasn't coming with us when we go to the tunnels. I am, by the way, going to actually prepare creation today,
Okay.
so I don't have to switch out to it because it's pretty clear we're going to need it. So I won't have telekinesis, which is the same level.
Okay. And
I have a bunch of spells like first thing I'll do when we're ready to set out is I cast Greater Mage Armor. So I use like a spell slot. I have a bunch of spells that I don't mention that often that are just memorized because I know I need them, like Create Food and Water.
okay. So resetting the DC for the heat. How long does creation last?
That's what you make, right?
Depends. Yeah, it depends on what you make. It lasts, the rock version lasts 12 hours.
Maybe we warned them that in a few more hours that thing is gonna just crumble away and this water is gonna. Maybe we should poke a hole in it so that it leaks out over time.
I mean, you certainly can.
I mean, can you
I don't have
destroy
anything.
the water? Maybe they
I
can.
I don't have Destroy Water as one of my spells. And I don't necessarily like it doesn't, can you dismiss creation early? Because it doesn't say you can.
No.
Is it an
Once-
instantaneous effect?
No, it's
No, it's not,
duration
right?
special. Yeah, it's duration based on the material you're creating. Next time I can create like a wooden bathtub and then it'll be easier to break down.
Why?
And it will last a whole day. We can carry it with us.
Our new little light weapon, light sword thing will
There
probably
you
cut
go.
right through this.
There's a pretty good chance of that.
It's a pretty cool spell. I like how when it uses the component for another spell, that spell fails. Be very useful if you're interrupting.
Oh, right. I mean, if you could just be like, I'm going to create a 10,000 gold piece gem because that's what this other spell needs, and it'll last 10 minutes.
When you just need somebody alive long enough to do something.
Right.
Hey, I mean that's a tactic, resurrect an ancient hero.
But I'll cast light on your block of wood so that you can see if the light sword will cut through the stone bathtub.
Yeah.
So it doesn't cut as efficiently, but it does cut through the stone.
I think it just wants a leak anyway, so that's probably good enough.
All right. Anything else you're doing before you start heading back out? And are you gonna go under the tunnels or are you gonna go into the forest?
Under the tunnel.
The tunnels, right?
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
we wanted a guide in the tunnels to let us through, though. That was the
Right.
Hey,
It would
well,
make
I can guide us through the tunnels.
oh, okay.
but it would, although we'd have to be blindfolded either way because the tunnels are mirrored, it would make more sense for us to go ask for them to lead us through the tunnels than for me to cast daylight twice, presumably, since it'll take us about 2 hours.
Indeed.
As at least he will be able to see where he's going, whereas with daylight in effect, we'll all be stumbling around blind. Or we'll have to suffer the risk that we get attacked on the way there. I still think it's safer to take the tunnels than go through the forest where we basically know we will be attacked. Unless that weird thing of like drinking from that creature's head just let them know that maybe they should reconsider attacking us. Because I'd think twice about it.
I wouldn't.
Makes sense to me.
But, I am not so easily frightened.
So I'm going to put my blindfold back on and then well, I guess I'll walk for a bit. I'm sure we'll see the light before we get there and see if we can go find our hosts again.
Yeah, you find them right where they were. You find the light, and they are invisible, but at least one of them has to be there.
So I will put my blindfold on and approach and say, we're getting ready to head out so that we can, again, face Bel Shalor. I respect that you don't think you can contribute to that fight and wish to stay here, but we'd like to take you up on your offer to guide us through the tunnels, since obviously, if we go, it'll be so bright we'll all be partially blinded. You obviously can see through it, so having you to help guide our footsteps would be better for us.
Oh, of course. I'm happy to walk you through the tunnels. And he puts, well, you don't see what he does, but you do hear him approach. He says, "Are you ready now?"
Yeah, I think we are.
All right. Then let us go. So he'll guide you through the tunnels. It does make it go a little bit faster since he is expert in knowing the very layout of all of these tunnels. Which you do see the further you go that it really is like a a spider web network beneath the trees, um, with how extensive these things are. After a couple of hours, he leads you to an exit that goes up, and he says, the the edge of the forest from here should be about a mile or so, um, maybe less. But if that
So,
is your goal, to leave the forest, then this is the best spot to do so.
I thank you for the guidance. You've probably saved our lives.
Then I have done a great deed, since you follow the great light as we do.
So you want me to make 2 saves just to see if we crit fail?
Uh, ah, yes. Let's see.
So I'm gonna do, well, not on the right tab. That's unfortunate. Hit the wrong button and exited out of roll 20. We're back. Technically, that's an 8. And if he's
Yeah.
within, 15 feet of Jakash, +4.
All right.
And then I have to open up my character sheet, which takes longer. So we're still in the forest when we emerge.
Yeah, but it's not pitch black as it was. You can see the edge where the light is emerging through the canopy, as it is a bit sparser here, and you do see the light, um, of, past some of the trees as you look forward. Okay. So both of you have succeeded your con saves. Um, so yeah, you guys are close to the edge of the forest. There is more light, and with that, um, based on everything that the creature that guided you through the tunnel said, um, you are likely safe from those creatures since they have an intense hatred of the light. Um, though, you know, it's only one way to find out for sure. You don't, none of you see anything though, in terms of in the forest.
You should try a new sword on maybe a tree. Or a branch, maybe not a tree.
Sure.
You
Give it
should
a
let
shot.
us back up, just in case.
Like very far back.
Oh, well, yeah, I wasn't gonna like try and chop the whole thing down.
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. I want to be at least 100 feet away.
It explodes in shrapnel. It goes everywhere.
Or, it could just be like, like an arc welder and you're like blinded from the light because you're not that magical creature.
Um, so the branded one uses the light spell and then basically runs away to the minimum safe
Or,
distance.
yes,
You're like, all
towards
right.
the
I'm like, sweet.
towards
Thank
the edge
you.
of the forest.
Where are you going? I'll just like find a branch hanging down, right?
Mhm.
And not be under it, obviously, and go.
So blade passes right through the branch, but just as with the sword, a moment later, a path following the path of the blade moves through the branch with a red glow to it, and then it is cut and it falls. And you can see that it seems to be radiating some kind of light, maybe even heat as well.
So again, I kind of pictured maybe 2 feet of a branch, right? And I'll go and pick it up.
It's incredibly heavy.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm gonna see what happens if I'm gonna try and chuck it like a small spear at a nearby tree.
Okay. Uh,
Like
give
10 feet away.
give me an attack roll without proficiency.
It's basically just strength.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you hit a tree, you hear the clang of the reverberating metal, and it falls. It doesn't stick into the tree.
Okay. Maybe if I could throw it harder, I could. Is there a bit of the
Or
ground that's like
throw it at something softer.
volunteers? Yeah, so I'll walk over to the thing, but with the light blade, if there's a part of the ground that doesn't have roots, this is like ash, I guess, right? I'll just like poke into it.
Into the ash?
Yeah, with the light blade, yeah.
Okay.
Like
So
poke,
it
pull out,
it
see if anything
it
happens.
moves just like with steel, it moves through as if it's not even there. But as you pull it away this time, you see that there's really no effect.
Okay. Understood. We did determine that these things didn't like radiant damage, right?
I think it was
trees.
acid.
Well,
Or maybe-
acid too.
Yeah. I'm not sure about radiant.
I think we were using radiant because I was using blessed flare for some reason or other.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's been a month. For
I
me.
like to think it's you heard of delayed blast fireball. This is delayed vorpal sword.
Right. Okay.
Head pops off next round if you hit critical hit.
Okay. So I'm like, you can drop the light. To let it go away. And then assuming you do that, I'll pocket it.
I don't know that you
Experiment.
can drop light.
I don't know.
You
thought you
can
could.
cast it on something else.
Right.
Either way, I'm gonna
Yeah,
go pick up the thing, the branch that I had.
I would just cast it on something else I see on the ground.
Okay. That would end in then, yes.
Cool. And I'll bring the branch over and kind of like poke the ground with it.
Okay.
Just making sure like what kind of resistance I meet, essentially.
Wait, what are you doing?
Poking the ground with the branch.
It pokes through the ground just as you would expect for a sharp metal object to poke through tightly packed ash.
Sure. And again, this thing is eaten right through the demon grinders. I'm just testing on everything. Yeah, let's move. Let's start moving. I'm sure something I can throw this at will show up.
I mean,
Alright.
we've all at some point found like a really good stick that we just kept.
Yes.
Surely this could be used properly somehow. Gosh darn it, I'm gonna find that whatever that is. I kind of want to see if it'll poke through adamantine.
Well, we could go back to the demon grinder because that's
Yeah.
where we left the animating armor.
You know,
There's
some,
also, you know,
some future
maybe
party will find that.
right. They may also find the sword staff of evil that we never really identified, and a bunch of like Kopeshes and some stuff from Ewan that we left there. And all the
Yeah.
magical stuff may have survived the explosion.
You know, it's really funny because we see these maps, these fantasy maps, and occasionally there's like a skeleton of an animal. Like, what the fuck? Where did this even? Why would you draw this here? No, man, I saw one there. Where would it have come from? Who knows? Fucking adventurers flying overhead, just dropping shit. Like, we don't need this anymore.
Oh, Ewan's prosthetic arm. That's what I was thinking of. That maybe didn't survive.
I
Yeah,
don't know. Depends on the craftsmanship, I guess.
someone else's prosthetic arm now. Or it's just hanging above a mantle.
All right, so you guys emerge from the forest, and now you're back on the desolate plains of Fernia. Although now it's even more daunting because you are traveling on foot rather than in a vehicle. About 5 hours pass without anything of note taking place.
So can we periodically spray ourselves down now that we're not in the presence of this light creature? Can we periodically spray ourselves down with the cold water hose, or do we have to make more saves?
Uh, I'll allow you to do the saves with advantage, but you'll still need to do the saves because it is still really hot. And even if you have the thing going constantly, because it's spraying in such a wide area, it is providing some relief, but it's not negating the heat of Fernia.
Okay, that's fair.
DC cut in half.
So, and I assume then that we're staying close to Takash.
That's fair
Yeah.
to assume.
Probably me holding the jug.
So we've already done DC 5 and DC 6, so we're starting
so
at
you're on
DC
7.
7, and we've got to do 5. So let me do Trebek first. This is 7, 8,
Okay.
9.
Plus 4, so
With Takash, he beats 9. 10.
Well, you guys have advantage, so that's a
Right. Oh
potential
yeah,
crit.
yeah.
And it looks
Well,
like
then-
you just re-rolled it, and that is a crit
Confirmed.
fail, success. So, actually, so he makes 2 saves, and then so he gets to skip his next save.
Okay. And
Uh,
then
So that's 1, 2, 3. He skips 4, so he just has to make one more. At DC
Right.
7, 8, 9. So it DC 10
11
or 11.
plus 4.
Yeah, so he passes. And then Brandon 1.
So 7, 8. I don't know why that didn't register, but no. I didn't hit it again. It just took a long time. 9, 10, 11.
So you also crit succeeded. So you get 3 free 3 free hours.
So 11, 12, and 13. Big one for 11, and then 12 and 13 upcoming.
Okay. And then out in the distance, you see what appears to be a dust storm approaching. It's a fairly small, concentrated dust storm, but a dust storm is what it looks like.
Well, that doesn't look good. I hope it's a natural dust storm.
If it is, I've got everything needed to get rid of it. A jug. I got to hold like a firefighter.
So
Yeah.
we'll end it there for tonight.
Sounds good.
All right. What do people think?
We survived, which I wasn't so sure of. I feel like the branded one kind of expected the Silver Flame to save him, but it's a nice surprise that she also saved Trebek.
Hey, good for you, Trebek. You did it.
You live to be sacrificed by me another day.
It was good.
Trebek is willing to make that sacrifice, and that's what makes him so special.
I would not have known, I would not have remembered what the measle was if Tony hadn't guessed it in advance. And I don't really remember. I remember the picture of those light creatures, but I don't really remember what they were. They're not a creature I've ever used.
No,
Yeah,
no.
it's a race from 3rd edition called the Lumians, I think.
And I was
Yeah.
surprised. I looked it up. I am very surprised that in 5e, camels do not have any sort of heat resistance whatsoever. Because I was totally planning on polymorphing Trebek into a camel and riding him to safety.
They have their own stat block. It doesn't just say, "Hey, use a horse's stat block."
No, they do have their own separate stat block.
Huh.
It's not, for whatever reason, it's not in Roll20, so it must be in some obscure side book, but it's an official 5e stat block.
Well, let's go have a look. Camel.
Yeah, and the reason that I use the Lumians, that was actually inspired by Lisa today because she showed me this thing. Was one of those things where it's like DM, all right, you enter a room, but none of you can see, and then another player is like, but we have dark vision, and then the DM says, you can't see because it's blinding light. Do you have blinding light vision? So I was like, it's a cool idea.
Yeah, but this is a party that's not filled with people with fucking dark vision. So
Yeah.
you were
We
just
are
blinding
easily-
us. Now
yeah,
you were
we're
just
easily
absolutely
blinded.
blinding us, making sure that we couldn't see shit.
Yeah.
Mike's like, yeah, that's funny. Let's do it to people who can't see in the dark anyways. That was the psychological. You're psychologically torturing us in real life.
It's a good
I
joke.
can't wait to be a therapeutic DM.
Yeah, I was reading more about
I'm
that.
afraid
That
for
is
those
actually-
people.
That is actually pretty cool. And I think you'll be pretty good at it, really. I'm sure you know how to tone it down. I'm just afraid you're gonna take it out on us. All of those like little
Yeah.
pent up moments.
I mean, I will say, it was very common, and Dustin, you might recall with the rugby guys, because they would see me on the rugby pitch and at the drink ups afterwards, and then I would tell people, yeah, I'm a child therapist, and they'd be like, the
What?
fuck, who lets you around children?
Yep. Yeah, that was a very common sentiment. So
Yeah.
it's you're just so what you're saying is you're just on brand.
Yeah. So yeah, no, we need to be getting paid because obviously we're your fucking D&D therapists. Okay, because you get to take everything out on us. We need some payback here.
I did like Tony's, let's stand very still and see if they still attack us. And I was like, of course they're gonna attack us.
I don't know, maybe they had like some weird sound thing.
It was funny because when Takash said that, I was like, yeah, these things are that kind of dickish that they would specifically target him. And I honestly was rolling. I wasn't just like picking people. I was just doing it secretly. And yeah, they rolled a 25 to hit you. So
They really wanted it.
Yeah. I just imagine
Well,
like the
then-
second one, like it goes in. I'm like, it's a good thing I could speak telepathically.
That is true. I would have kept walking if you telepathically asked me to do something to help you.
I'm like, yes, that's right. You are the one that can help me. You specifically, I require your assistance.
yeah, I think you do, because you failed a second time. That
I know.
con
Right.
save.
That's when I did. I'm like, all right, we gotta take care of this. Paladin's not proficient in Constitution saving throws, so I'm getting whatever durable. I think next time I get a feat, I think. Be helpful.
All right,
Gotta
guys.
lost
Well,
some
thanks
bump
for
my con.
playing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks. Have a good night.
Yep. See you guys
Talk to
later.
you guys later.